Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about the 7 different reasons why women have the perception that they hold power. You see what I mean when I say that this is how women are treated when they come home with their stick drawings and their parents say, "Wow, this is fantastic. Put it on the refrigerator." Their entire lives have been one long game of strategy and deception. Men will agree with a woman on nearly everything, and if she's a beautiful woman, they will not only agree with her, but also back her and whatever views she has. You're a business genius, right? And it doesn't matter what it is since it's as simple as a child's game to well. She's doing pretty well because at least she's communicating to people that she needs help, which is better than what a lot of women would do in her situation. So there you have it. A lot of women would just be sitting in the truck and continuing to cry if they were in her situation. If a woman can figure out what a man wants, which is not hard to do, then she can withhold it from him. If the man believes that the most important thing in life is getting together with a woman and having children, then she can withhold it from him. If a guy believes that women are the most important thing in the universe, then the woman is, in effect, in charge, and she is in charge of the man. But who are we, and why does it? If the woman is able to exert control over the man, it is easy to understand why she would begin to believe that she was the one who built the bridge that led from my bedroom to the living room every night when I was a young boy. In case you haven't seen it, or if you weren't able to see it in the past, you now have the ability to do so, and it is quite remarkable to see a bridge when the lights turn on at night, because it lights up the night sky. It doesn't matter what's going on, a woman can always make things more emotionally chaotic and upsetting than they were before she got involved. This is the 4th reason why women believe they are in command of the situation. Disarray and confusion are the general atmosphere, and this strategy can be effective even if you do not have a solid move. If you are unable to improve your position, then that is the weak point in your strategy. This is a classic example of a woman's use of psychological manipulation on a man. She approaches him and asks, "Do you know who your best friend is?" The man is extremely focused and highly concentrated. He is going to achieve his goals. The other night, he was flirting with me, but that might not have worked, so he might have said something like, "You know, my best friend is on the other side of the planet right now." We see this tactic of women emotionally trying to manipulate men until a man loses his emotional stability, and then he's on equal footing with the woman. For example, you could be Einstein, coming up with the theory of relativity, and she could want you to go to the store to buy something. So maybe it was your best friend. We see this tactic of women emotionally trying to manipulate men until a man loses his emotional stability, and then he's on equal footing with the woman. She does this by emotionally manipulating, arriving in the room and giggling or dropping her pencil at each of Einstein's stops. She is a genius. What he's doing approaches her and makes an attempt to assist her in picking up the pencil. What is she going to believe when she looks at them and tells them she wants them to do this, and she wants them to do this other thing? Those things are meaningless and useless, but she wants them to do them. Anyhow, you will bring down the firm. And then you will bring down the nation. She's like, "I want you to bring in men from other parts of the world who don't share our values. And I want to use your tax dollars to give them free housing." Free if you can understand why she might start to think that you'll know that there's no way to stop her from doing it. In point of fact, she was the one in charge of the entire production, because for the feeble men, and to the best of your knowledge, as far as emotionally manipulating someone else goes, she is okay. You're aware of this, so let's go on. You're going to starve your own children to virtue signal to complete strangers because you know that's how much spare time you have. When we talk about being civilized, we mean being less aggressive, less masculine, and more feminine at the very least. This is one way that you can interpret it, and this is how we are interpreting it as well, so there you have it. If you give it some thought, this is what we mean when we talk about civilization. When we talk about being civilized, we mean being less aggressive, less masculine, and more feminine at the very least. Moving on to the second reason why women think they should be in charge, the fact that they have more experience. Women are beginning to believe their own emotional victim narratives, in spite of the efforts of the market to change them. This is a healthy development. However, they are also beginning to believe in their own publicity and marketing. You are aware that this is something that can happen. When I was a child, I did some things that weren't exactly appropriate on a regular basis, such as stealing cookies from the cookie jar. I now realize that this is something that can happen to anyone. When I was a child, I did some things that I should have been rewarded for. In point of fact, you should be thanked with a cookie for your effort, but they didn't fall for it, which is unfortunate because they could not fall for my ruse at all. However, if I had been a gorgeous girl, It might have been a result. I've always maintained that I did not steal the cookie, but at some point in time I began to believe that I was telling the truth. I put on an act, if you know what I mean. I was complaining about how unfair it was that I had to spend so much time locked up in my room when I was a kid, and I was taken to my room without a cookie. I mourned the unfairness of my false prosecution and my wrongful detention. I continued to submit my emotional evidence and support for that cause. All of this commotion, all of this breathing, all of this crying, and all of this emotional upheaval was just an act to get out of admitting that I was attempting to steal the cookie, and I literally believed it. You see what I mean when I say that I was being emotionally tossed around when I was only 7 or 8 years old at the most, and you know what? So I thought to myself that this is incredible because I actually started to believe my own. So there you have it. That's yet another one of the reasons why women think they're in charge. So here we go with the number one reason why women think they're in charge. Here's the thing. Even though men build everything and maintain everything, even though women think they're in charge, athletes who compete at the high school level have the potential to compete at the professional level. Perhaps not the very best athletes, but the bulk of them. Because of this, it is absolutely a complete waste of time to watch a woman compete in an athletic event, while it is not a waste of time in the least to watch a man compete in an athletic event. Because of this, female athletes do not deserve even a fraction of what a male athlete receives, even though all of these things are true. Male athletes do not receive the same treatment as female and child athletes. But if you only have 1 female and 10 males, you won't be able to repopulate anything. Females have the ability to reproduce. From a biological perspective, the fact that men are designed to guard and defend females was a necessary component of the evolutionary bargain for their existence, which means that women have inherent worth. Would you believe that the 2 women were together during these various local times? If you are a man whose primary occupation or obsession in life is getting together with women and pleasing women, then you have no business being in her life. All it takes is for one woman to realize that this is how the man is thinking, and then she takes control of the man. Madame Curie did some amazing scientific work. She was in command due to the fact that everything else in the area revolved around her. You are aware that his mother raised him, and as a result, that is where his attention is focused. He does not need to compete in a man's world because he was brought up in a woman's world where things were easy and given and people were taken care of, so that he does not have these male masculine patriarchal ideals which are despised and mocked. He was raised so that he does not have these values, so even though women cannot do the work that men do, even though she. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this story and the lesson it attempted to teach you. I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comment section below that you have done so. After that, I will provide a response to your observation. Also, if you want more stories like this one to be published, please leave a comment below indicating that you want to see it happen.